What if Count Dooku and Mace Windu both turned to the dark side? Let's explore the depths of this scenario in the video. The Jedi Council is not pleased as Dooku and Mace Windu stand before them. Both Jedi recently finished a mission on Raxulon to investigate the death of Jedi Master Katri. While a success, Dooku greatly overstepped his authority and the Council is concerned about his behavior.
We understand the quest for justice is long and difficult, but there are limits one must follow in pursuing it.
Yes. I am aware of the protocol that must be followed, as you have informed me many times.
And ignored them you have, many times.
With all due respect, Masters, there was little time to report everything. The longer we waited, the more opportunities the killer would have had to cover up their evidence.
And what of threatening the Senator, Master Dooku?
Master Dooku acted rashly, I understand. But the blame is not only his.
On that, we agree. This behavior we expected from him, which is why sent you we did.
Are you saying that I'm to blame for the situation?
What we are saying is that there are expectations of how a Jedi Master must behave, and that we expected more of both of you. Dismissed you two are. Discuss the situation. The Council must.
Both Jedi march away in a huff, neither one saying a word as they head to their quarters to cool off. Mace attempts to meditate, reflect, and understand the Council's decision, but despite his best efforts, he finds no wisdom, only frustration. He's a Jedi Master, and so is Dooku. Why is it his job to control him? Suddenly, a voice echoes through his head.
A frustrating thing, isn't it? When bureaucracy and protocol take precedence.
Mace opens his eyes, and a hooded figure stands before him. He leaps to his feet and draws his lightsaber.
Who are you? State your business.
Peace, my friend. I'm simply here to talk.
I'm in no mood to talk with anyone, especially intruders like you.
Oh, you are barbaric for one who prides himself in fighting for civilization.
Unless you have information of any relevance, then you have no business wasting my time.
I do, though it may be information you already know. Lyric is far from the only corrupt senator out there. Look into the Senate, and you shall find hundreds more just like him, all stealing from their worlds, selling their people, and betraying the republic they fought for.
Is that supposed to entice me? You say what every vagabond and street urchin can tell me.
And yet the Jedi Council turns a blind eye to it. The Jedi have failed you, Mace. They've failed Dooku as well. They are blind to their hypocrisy and weakness. But there are ways to change this galaxy for the better, for those willing to reach out and take it.
Before Mace can respond, the vision begins to fade, and he finds himself alone in his quarters. Little does he know, Dooku has received similar visions. To their dismay, the Council decides that both Jedi require a break from active duty to cool off and hopefully teach them patience. They will work in the library and train the younglings. Mace uses this opportunity to try and purge these negative emotions by throwing himself into his work. As he spars with other masters and trains with the Padawans, he allows those negative feelings to flow through him. It seems to help Mace's mood as he begins to feel better and doesn't receive any more visions for the next few weeks. However, Dooku spends his time in the library. When he's not sorting through the archives, Palpatine discreetly begins sending classified documents that show the Senate's corruption. Dooku verifies the claims Palpatine sends him in the archives and with his contacts. He sees entire worlds being sold to corporations, cities left to ruin at the mercy of pirates, and political murder on an unprecedented scale. He brings many of these issues to the Jedi, begging them to investigate, but they either don't believe him or the bureaucracy and protocol prevent them from launching any meaningful investigation. Dooku grows increasingly frustrated with the Jedi's inability to do anything. He even warns them that this might be a sign of the coming dark side, but rather than act, they decide to once again wait and see. Mace hears of this and pulls Dooku aside one day.
Whatever may come, know that despite our differences, I'm still ready to stand with you, as am I, my friend. But alas, we are at the mercy of the Jedi Council.
Unfortunately, the first encounter with the Sith is with neither Mace nor Dooku, but with the latter's apprentice, Qui-Gon, who is slain by Darth Maul. Shortly after, Dooku mysteriously vanishes from the Order. No one, not even Mace, knows what happened to him. No one takes the blow harder than Mace. Although he didn't agree with everything Dooku did, he knew he was one of the Jedi's best and saw the corruption in the galaxy just like him. One night, he begins meditating again, trying to find answers to where his friend is.
Dooku, wherever you are, I need your guidance now more than ever.
I'm afraid your friend is not here anymore.
You. He leaps to his feet. If you hurt Dooku, I will.
Calm yourself, Master Jedi. The Count is unhurt. In body, at least. My sources claim he's returned to his home planet to mourn. Who can blame him? Such a preventable death.
Did you have something to do with it?
Me? I simply showed him the truth of this republic. I reminded him how corruption of every kind thrives. It seemed he could not handle it.
He fought the Council to make them see it.
Yes, and now where is he? All that remains is for you to reshape the galaxy. Tell me, would you stand against these injustices, or shall you turn a blind eye to all this suffering?
What do you have to show me? Palpatine smiles, then reveals to him the things he sent Dooku. From never getting visions from Palpatine, Mace now gets them almost every day. Each time he shows himself, the Chancellor reveals more and more corruption. Mace can hardly believe what he sees. Although he knows the Republic had corruption issues, the sheer scale of it is shocking.
You believe in civilization. Behold the civilization you fight for.
This is not the Republic I know.
No, but it is the one we live in. The only question is, are you prepared to fight for its change?
Although he doesn't say anything, Palpatine can tell his words have an impact on the Jedi Master. Eventually, Mace nods. As a part of the Jedi Order, Mace cannot leave the temple without anyone noticing. Palpatine uses his visions to train Mace in secret. He uses the Jedi Master's technique Vapad to show him how to tap into the dark side. This technique allows the dark side to flow through him. Mace already has experience, but Palpatine alters that technique. Instead of channeling darkness out, he allows it to fuel him. Mace's attacks become stronger and faster, but also more aggressive. His discipline allows him to harness this technique without making it too obvious. He tests these dark side abilities against criminal gangs. Aside from combat applications, Palpatine also shows him how to manipulate others with the Force. Similar to Jedi mind tricks, Mace learns how to take control of their minds. If he cannot expose the politicians directly, then he will let them expose themselves. However, Mace is careful not to make his new training appear too obvious. During these missions, he also uses the intel he's gathered over the years to wage a shadow war against the corrupt Senate. whether it's destroying their holdings, punishing their underlings, or bringing weapons to their rivals. He also employs subtler approaches to challenge these senators using the Force to manipulate or expose their crimes. But this training is interrupted by news of Anakin and Obi-Wan being captured on Geonosis. According to Obi-Wan, they found a massive droid army hidden on a desert planet. A rescue operation is immediately organized, consisting of over 200 Jedi. As Mace prepares to depart, he feels a vision from Palpatine.
Go to Geonosis. There you shall find your destiny.
Those words ring through his head as they reach the Petranaki arena where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme are set to be executed. While the rest of the Jedi infiltrate the stands, Mace decides to enter the private viewing box of Poggle the Lesser. Mace finds the Archduke, Jango Fett, Newt Gunray, and a fourth figure who causes the Jedi Master to pause. Even after so many years, he still recognizes his old friend. Though his hair is now silver and he looks much older, Dooku remains as proud and distinguished as ever. As the other Jedi get into position, Mace walks up to him and places a lightsaber against Jango Fett's throat. Despite the threat, the Count's face betrays nothing, and he takes a step forward. All around him, Geonosians fly away as the Jedi make their presence known, but Mace's attention is focused solely on Dooku. 100 emotions run through him at once as he regards his friend. Since his disappearance, Mace had always assumed that Dooku had retired and respected that decision. Seeing him here was in some ways a relief, as he hasn't given up the fight for equality yet. But any positive feelings he has in that moment are gone in the next, all replaced with anger. Seeing him alongside Poggle the Lesser and Newt Gunray, some of the people most responsible for the suffering in the galaxy, angers Mace. He glares down at the Count, who seems almost amused. Suddenly, the sound of metallic feet stomps across the floor. A squad of super battle droids appear and begin to fire upon Mace. This distracts him long enough for Jango to power up his flamethrower. Seeing he's been outflanked, Mace leaps off the balcony to avoid the fire. As Jango looks over, Dooku's hand grips his shoulder.
I want him alive.
He leans back and watches the battle rage around him. The Jedi, though outnumbered, are superb fighters. They fearlessly rush to meet the battle droids, cutting dozens down in seconds. Their movements are a blur of blue and green. It's an impressive sight, and soon they clear out large sections in the center of the arena after freeing the prisoners. Those that don't fall by their lightsabers are crushed or shoved aside by the Force. Even Jango Fett is no match for them as Mace Windu cuts him down. Dooku knows that he will lose hundreds, if not thousands, of those droids today. But that was what he expected. For every 100 shots the Jedi deflects, one gets through, and that is all they need. Soon the Jedi begin to fall one by one. To him, this isn't just a battle, but a microcosm for the coming war. Even if they somehow win this battle, he has billions more droids to throw at them. Soon 100 Jedi become 20 as they are surrounded. But before the droids can execute the survivors, a squadron of gunships appear. In an instant, they descend and surround the Jedi forces, while clones stream out and blast any droid that gets too close. Dooku must take cover to avoid getting hit by stray blaster fire. As he peeks from cover, he sees the Jedi leap towards the gunships. Mace is among the last to escape. Growling, Dooku signals his droids to capture him. As Mace climbs aboard, a droid grabs at his tunic, trying to pull him down. He's soon joined by another, and more. Soon a small army tugs at the Jedi Master, who tries to shake them off, but stumbles out. Obi-Wan tries to help him, but the droids mob him and pile up, literally burying Mace underneath them. The gunships must depart before more droids arrive, leaving him behind. Once they are gone, Dooku leaps down to confront Mace on the arena grounds. From the pile, the droids are all thrown aside with a powerful Force push, and Mace emerges, unhurt but burning with anger.
Mace, I can sense it within you. The dark side. It burns brightly.
At least I stand for something. Look who you have joined.
The very people you've sworn to defeat.
Dooku begins to circle Mace, his eyes never leaving his opponent.
Did I? Or did I simply see the truth? The Republic is corrupt, Mace. The Jedi are blind to the rot within it. To defeat it, we must destroy it.
And what did you do? Allied with scum like Newt Gunray, the men who have brought war and suffering to countless worlds.
The war was necessary. It is inevitable. The only difference is we are the ones who control its outcome. The Republic needed to be cleansed, and if these were the people most willing to rise, so be it.
Without warning, Mace lunges at Dooku, his lightsaber a blur of purple light. Dooku parries, their lightsabers clashing with a thunderous crack. The two duelists move with blinding speed, their blades creating arcs of light as they strike and counterstrike.
You're stronger than before, Mace. I can feel your anger. Let it fuel you. Join me, and we can end this war.
I have my plans, and I shall see them through. The two continue to exchange blows, the intensity of their duel increasing as Mace feels the anger radiating from his friend. He steps back and drinks it in, letting it flow through him and turning it against Dooku. His attacks become more aggressive, his anger driving him forward. Dooku, while skilled, is forced to retreat, the power behind Mace's strikes pushing him back. With a powerful swing, Mace disarms Dooku, sending his lightsaber flying. He stands over Dooku, his lightsaber poised to strike.
Darth Sidious taught you well, but he did not teach you everything.
He feels a small smile tug at his face as he sees the surprise on Mace's face. Dooku thrusts his arm out and unleashes a torrent of lightning towards Mace. The Jedi Master staggers back and screams, feeling the electricity coursing through him. While he writhes on the ground, Dooku takes the opportunity to escape off-world. Once he is off Geonosis, Dooku contacts his master.
I have escaped the planet along with the droid army.
Very good, my apprentice. So everything has gone according to plan.
Not quite. I had a strange encounter with Master Windu. He was channeling the dark side. I'm wondering how he was trained in such power.
Then wonder no more. I trained him.
Dooku was not surprised to hear his master would do this. What shocked him was how he readily admitted it.
You? But the laws of the Sith say there can only be two, a master and an apprentice. Such has always been the case since the time of Darth Bane.
Not always. My own master's master had broken this rule. When Darth Plagueis studied under Darth Tenebrous, his master kept a secret apprentice to challenge him. Darth Venomous. Darth Tenebrous sought to find the greatest in the galaxy who could destroy the Jedi, as I do now.
So you seek to replace me?
I seek nothing. Plagueis did not allow himself to be replaced, and slew this pretender. As I said, I seek to find the strongest, and let this war be your game board to determine who is the apprentice and who is the pretender.
This battle begins the Clone Wars, and Palpatine gets a demonstration of his two apprentices' powers. Both prove to be exceptionally skilled in the dark side in different ways. The Count is a master at lightsaber combat and harnessing the dark side. He is also a far superior politician to Mace. On the other hand, Mace is a better general and harnesses the dark side to strengthen his abilities without being too obvious. He is also far more charismatic and able to win the loyalty of his soldiers. He sees great potential in both of them, but only one would survive to see the birth of his empire. As the hologram fades, Dooku slams his fist against the console. He did not like the idea of being tested like this, but for the moment, he cannot turn against Palpatine. Not alone. Instead, he focuses his anger on the war effort, where Dooku and Mace serve as major players. Although the likes of Anakin and Obi-Wan take the limelight, the two Sith apprentices remain influential in their own ways. Mace takes a far more active role in the war, leading his troops across many battlefields and using his incredible power to shatter the enemies, while Dooku remains in the shadows, rallying planets, sowing discontent in loyalist worlds, or assassinating rivals. This means while they rarely face each other directly, they find new ways to fight this war. Although Dooku can use his dark powers openly, Mace can't and must restrain himself. Worlds where Mace is fighting are subjected to far more brutal tactics. Firebombing campaigns, blockades, and famines are all done to push Mace further into the dark side, until it can no longer be hidden from the Jedi. In return, Mace takes a harsher stance on separatist groups and worlds. Mace makes sure to wipe out entire insurgent groups who join the CIS, not taking any prisoners or assaulting allies of the Count, even if they claim neutrality. On worlds allied with the CIS, Mace adopts scorched earth tactics and leaves them devastated. All of this to show the Count as incompetent and unable to lead the CIS. This results in the Clone Wars taking a far more brutal turn, as while both sides only fight for limited goals, these leaders are now fighting for annihilation. On a personal level, as the two witness the destruction of the other causes, their hatred for one another grows. Both begin blaming the other for the chaos in the galaxy. The one who benefits most from this is Palpatine, who sees the chaos these two are causing. All it does is further undermine the credibility of the Jedi and the CIS, allowing him to consolidate his power. But neither apprentice is blind to these developments. Both of them make their own steps to challenge Palpatine. Dooku attempts to raise his apprentice in secret from the form of Asajj Ventress, but that plot is discovered and he's forced to get rid of her. He also tries to take strategic worlds that Palpatine needs, though the Chancellor ensures that Anakin Skywalker is sent there to reverse the situation. Meanwhile, Mace tries to use the Jedi to challenge Palpatine's influence. He has them investigate and try to sabotage some of his plans and projects. While they manage to halt a few of them, such as kidnapping Force-sensitive children, the Chancellor outmaneuvers him multiple times. Seeing his apprentices catching on, Palpatine turns his attention to a rising star in the war effort, Anakin Skywalker. But as the Outer Rim sieges begin, both sides can tell that the end is near. Despite that, neither one of them truly understands Palpatine's plan. While Palpatine makes them promises, he does not answer how the other will be dealt with. For Dooku, this has been something that has bothered him for a long time, and suspects that he has something planned. Shortly after the Battle of Anaxis, Dooku sends an assassin to try and kill Mace. This effort fails, and the assassin flees to a nearby moon, with Mace in pursuit. Although Obi-Wan suggests waiting for reinforcements, Mace insists on going alone, especially as he feels a shatterpoint there. As he lands on the moon, Mace spots the bounty hunter fleeing to an abandoned temple. He sprints after him, but by the time he arrives, he sees the assassin dead on the ground. Standing over his body is Count Dooku.
Dooku, you're the one who sent me on a wild chase. What is it you want? Merely to talk, Mace. To see if you've finally come to your senses.
You're a traitor, Dooku.
You abandoned the Jedi Order and allied yourself with the likes of the Trade Federation and Newt Gunray. You've brought untold suffering to the galaxy. You've become everything you've despised.
Mace lunges at Dooku, their lightsabers clashing with a burst of sparks. The sound of their duel echoes through the temple. Mace's attacks are powerful and relentless, fueled by his anger. He allows the dark side to flow fully through him and unleashes it in a scream. Rather than cower at this display, Dooku draws himself up and parries each attack.
Not everything I hate. At least I am not a Jedi nor a hypocrite. You're a coward, Mace. You cling to the Jedi Order, pretending to be righteous, yet you use the dark side when it suits you. Enough!
Mace throws a powerful shockwave that shatters the floors and leaves Mace standing in a crater in the center of the room. Despite that, Dooku leaps up and over the dust and lands on his feet.
Is this the best you can do, Mace? I expected more from you.
Mace leaps out from the crater and moves in a series of quick thrusts. Their lightsabers create arcs of purple and red light. Mace presses the attack, forcing Dooku back toward a crumbling pillar. With a powerful swing, Mace shatters the pillar, sending debris flying. Dooku leaps aside, barely avoiding the collapse.
Impressive, but brute strength alone won't save you.
Mace spins his lightsaber in a series of rapid strikes. Dooku counters each attack, but the two combatants are evenly matched, neither gaining the upper hand.
You've become everything we fought against, Dooku. You betrayed the Jedi, the Republic, and yourself. And you betrayed your own heart. You walk the line between the light and dark, yet you refuse to choose.
Mace roars in fury. His attacks become more ferocious. The force of the strike sends Dooku stumbling back. Seizing the moment, Mace presses forward, driving Dooku toward the crater. The Count begins to fall back, giving ground as his age shows. With a dark surge of energy, Dooku force pushes Mace, sending him stumbling towards the crater. They clash again, their lightsabers flashing in the dim light. The fight is brutal and intense, each strike echoing with the weight of their words. Mace's anger fuels his strength, while Dooku nearly falls in. With a final kick, Mace sends him stumbling into the pit below. The Count stumbles across the ground and lands at the bottom of the crater. Dooku winces and tries to lift himself up, but then feels a lightsaber pointed at his throat.
I ask you this once. Why did you bring me here? The conflict between us is meaningless. We need to join forces.
Join forces?
With you? After everything you've done? Yes. You must have sensed it by now. Palpatine's true intentions remain shrouded, even to me. We approach the end of this war, and yet he only answers our questions with riddles and smiles. And why should I believe you? You've manipulated everyone, Dooku. What makes this any different? Because, Mace, our old friendship means something to me.
Old friendship? Do you mean the friendship you betrayed when you left the Order?
I left because I saw no other way, just as I sensed there is no way now. I search your heart and see you feel the same way. You are closer to our master than I. Tell me, does he not seem off to you?
Palpatine has shown unusual favor towards Skywalker, more so than you or your supposed apprentices. It's troubling.
He claims that he hopes to turn him, and he will be a powerful ally in the New Order. But tell me, does he have you, his apprentice, to help him with those plans?
No.
Exactly. Palpatine seeks to manipulate everyone for his own ends. We may both be pawns in his grand design.
If there's even a chance you're telling the truth, we need to uncover Palpatine's plans. But make no mistake, Dooku, I will not hesitate to end you if you betray me again.
Understood.
A few weeks later, the sky above Coruscant is ablaze with the fires of war. Starfighters zip through the chaos, capital's ships exchange devastating broadsides, and the whole planet seems to tremble under the onslaught. Amid the frenzy, a pair of Jedi starships land on the CIS flagship, the Invisible Hand, to rescue Palpatine. Anakin emerges from his ship first, looking uncertainly at his companion, Mace Windu. They race down the corridors, dispatching battle droids along the way. Filling the halls with the clash of their lightsabers and the sounds of blaster fire and explosions, they reach the Chancellor's quarters. Inside, Chancellor Palpatine sits restrained in his chair, and standing before him, Count Dooku turns to face the two Jedi. Dooku ignites his red lightsaber, the crimson blade humming ominously. Mace and Anakin ignite their lightsabers before charging at Dooku. Although they begin throwing quick attacks, Dooku defends against each move. The confined space of the room makes the battle even more intense, as sparks flash against their bodies, while fire lights their eyes. Anakin's attacks grow more aggressive, his strikes more powerful. Mace fights with a focused intensity, tempering the dark side for now, but keeping Dooku's attention. Anakin sees an opening and seizes it, with a powerful strike aiming to cut Dooku's hands off, but Mace nudges his hands out and uses the Force to misdirect Anakin's hand ever so slightly. Instead, it only disarms the Sith Lord, whose lightsaber falls into his hands. Dooku drops to his knees as Anakin levels the lightsabers against his throat. Anakin hesitates, his face twisted with conflict. Suddenly, with a surge of Force energy, Mace throws Dooku back, slamming him against the wall.
No, Anakin. We take him alive.
But the Chancellor...
We are Jedi, Anakin. We don't execute prisoners.
Master Windu, I'm giving you a direct order as Chancellor. Are you disobeying me?
No, I am not. I am disobeying you, Master Sidious.
As they step out, Palpatine's expression shifts from calm to one of dark resolve. With a surge of power, he breaks free from his restraints, his eyes blazing with anger. He draws a concealed lightsaber and lunges at Mace. Mace quickly ignites his lightsaber, barely blocking Palpatine's strike. The sudden assault catches both Mace and Anakin off guard. With a powerful burst of Force lightning, he sends Palpatine flying back, the Sith Lord's lightsaber deactivating as he crashes against the wall.
I won't let you harm him, Sidious.
Palpatine rises, his face twisted with rage. He ignites his lightsaber again, but Dooku is faster. He force pulls his own lightsaber from Anakin's grasp and ignites it, standing ready to face his former master.
Dooku, we may have our differences, Mace, but we know that Palpatine is the true enemy.
The room erupts into chaos as the battle resumes. Mace and Dooku face off against Palpatine, their lightsabers clashing in a storm of sparks and fury. Even outnumbered, the Sith Lord is more than a match for them, defending himself quite well. None of their attacks even come close to hitting Palpatine, and the two start to back away. Dooku tries to unleash lightning once again, but this time Palpatine is ready for it and bats it aside. Meanwhile, Mace gets closer and bears down on the Chancellor, his purple lightsaber coming in from every angle. But Palpatine seems just a little bit faster. That is until one blow grazes his shoulder. He cries out in pain and Dooku presses his advantage. He rushes at Palpatine, forcing him back further.
Anakin, help me, please.
The young Jedi rushes forward, but Mace raises a hand.
No, there is much you don't know, young one. But Chancellor Palpatine is a Sith Lord.
How do you know that?
Because we are his apprentices.
Anakin stares at the Jedi Master in shock. He takes a step back and readies his own weapon. All this time Mace had lectured him on listening to the Jedi Code, but here he was serving the dark side they were sworn to destroy. You deceived me, Master Windu.
What we did for the galaxy, which is why we must stop him now.
Why should I believe you? A surge of power nearly sweeps them off their feet. Dooku looks at Anakin, feeling the power radiating off of him. However, unlike the two of them, Anakin has not yet learned to control it. Sensing this, Dooku pushes Palpatine back and lets Mace switch in. Anakin's face darkens as he looks at the Count. Taking a step forward, he holds up his robotic hand and raises his lightsaber.
I sense your anger, Anakin, but be sure it's directed in the right place. The Chancellor is a far greater evil. Destroy him. Remember, he too deceived you.
He wasn't the one who took my hand.
Then allow me to make amends for it. Whatever powers you require, I can teach you.
And I can assure the Jedi need not hear about what transpires here. That was all Anakin needed to hear, as he turned his lightsaber at Palpatine, who's grappling with Mace. Though savage, he's slowly being worn down by the Chancellor's relentless attack. That is until Dooku and Anakin rejoin the fight, their lightsabers clashing in a storm of sparks and fury. Palpatine, though powerful, finds himself overwhelmed. Anakin's raw power, Mace's strength and intensity, and Dooku's mastery of the dark side combine to create an unstoppable force. Palpatine unleashes a barrage of Force lightning, but Mace deflects it with his lightsaber, sending the energy crackling harmlessly into the walls. Dooku seizes the opportunity to strike, his lightsaber carving a precise arc through the air. Anakin follows with a powerful two-handed strike that forces Palpatine to stagger back. Mace, seeing an opening, moves with blinding speed. He strikes Palpatine's lightsaber, disarming him. Palpatine stumbles, his weapon clattering to the floor. Anakin and Dooku strike at their legs, driving Palpatine to his knees. Mace raises his lightsaber for the final blow. With a single decisive strike, he cuts Palpatine down. Palpatine collapses to the floor, lifeless. The room falls silent, the hum of lightsabers fading as Mace, Anakin, and Dooku deactivate their weapons. They stand amidst the wreckage, the weight of their actions settling over them. The battle for Coruscant rages on outside, but within the confines of the invisible hand, a pivotal confrontation has ended, and the fate of the galaxy is irrevocably changed. Suddenly a voice crackles on Mace's comm.
Master Windu! Master Windu! What is going on here?
I believe young Skywalker just brought balance to the Force. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.